Hey everybody, welcome to our technology take-home presentation. My name is Jeremy Hammer and I am the Technology Education Specialist here at MSAD 72, which means I help teach students, teachers, and parents how to make the most of the technology we provide. Our whole technology team, Kelly Bowles, Eric Wood, and Frederick McCubry keep all the laptops, networks, student information systems, and all the other related technology running in this district. If you ever have any questions about anything technology related, please email us at technology@msad72.org. I've been making videos like this for the last 15 years to help parents understand our policies on technology. Ever since the first video was made, I have included an introduction that talks about envisioning technology 10 years into the future, because understanding where technology is going to be is such an important perspective when it comes to teaching about using it today. 10 years ago, smartphones and tablets were shiny and new in education. 5 years ago, 3D printing was the next big thing. The beginning of 2023 started a huge shift in the capabilities of artificial intelligence, which is getting stunningly more capable every single month, it seems. If you are not following it closely, please understand that while it may not seem like an intrusive part of your daily life right now, trust me, it is moving at a pace that will impact your students' participation in higher education or the workforce in the next 5 to 10 years in unparalleled and difficult to imagine ways. For example, if you know me, you might have noticed something a bit off with my voice so far. This is because no human has spoken to you yet. I am not real. I trained an AI tool on my face and voice and typed every word so far to demonstrate how powerful this is getting. If you watched this video last year, I did the same thing and it was impressive but rough. Here's a clip.
By next year, I bet it will be almost indistinguishable from my real voice.
Clearly, this is exponentially better than what I showcased then. Last year, making that demo required 3 different tools and some moderate tech savviness. This year, all I had to do was give it a 5-minute video of me to learn from and type some text. Teaching technology literacy and awareness has never been more important.
As neat as that is, I think real Mr. Hammer is going to take over from here on out. I wanted to showcase that technology a little, so you can see that this new technological reality is very much on our minds here at school. Up until now, the internet has been a wondrous resource for gathering and distributing information, but with AI, that paradigm will very quickly shift to a resource capable of doing things, not just broadcasting things. We're planning a lot of focus this year on developing official policies and strategies on how to best balance the power of this new tool with the responsibilities we have as educators. But enough introduction. Let's talk tech. At MSAD 72, we have taken steps to provide modern devices for every single student K through 8. And that model is something we expect to continue going forward from now on. The younger kids have iPads, and the older kids have laptops. A side benefit of this strategy is that we will be making 8th grade student laptops available for sale to them at a great price at the conclusion of the 8th grade school year. Be looking for information about that in late spring. Students will generally be leaving their assigned device at school every night, unless their teachers plan a project that would require homework. If they need to take a device home, they must sign it out with their teacher each night before they bring it with them. Chargers should always remain wrapped up neatly in their laptop cases so they have the ability to charge it overnight and bring it back to school fully charged. Never allow students to charge their laptops inside the protective case that we provide so it does not overheat. If a device does go home, there are some points to keep in mind. These devices are for the assigned student or the parent of that student only. Friends, siblings, or other relatives may not use them. All of our devices are Wi-Fi enabled, meaning they must connect to an existing Wi-Fi network at home to reach the internet. They do not have cellular connectivity built in. Please feel free to request my video on how to connect to home Wi-Fi if you need help. To fully participate with these devices, you will need to have a reliable, high-speed internet connection in your home. We understand that all families may not have this available in their area or may not be able to afford the monthly costs associated with this service. If this is true for you, please reach out to us so we can discuss strategies to change this for you, if at all possible. There are programs available for qualifying low-income families. I cannot stress enough how important a reliable broadband connection is to the success of this learning model, and truly to other modern endeavors. The internet is quickly becoming a necessity, like electricity and telephones have in the past. Every device we have assigned has one or more cameras on it and built-in microphones, so remote instruction is an option if ever necessary. We encourage all parents to be comfortable with their children sharing their likeness digitally with their teachers and their peers when appropriate. We understand there are some very real reasons this could be a concern for some families, so if you have a legitimate safety concern about this capability, please bring that safety concern to your students' teachers so we can fully understand the nature of the concern and come up with solutions that hopefully do not impair your child's ability to fully participate. One reality parents should take to heart is that over time, some students will begin to make poor choices about how best to use their devices that we give them. So let's talk about that. The internet is frankly a wonder of the world. Everything we see, hear, imagine, and create can be accessed in some way online, the good and the bad. The internet is primarily an adult world, a fact we as parents all too frequently put out of our minds because the internet is so much a part of everyone's life now. Asking children to participate in an adult world full of information and endless distractions without guidance is at some levels an unfair thing to ask, and is something we should all be eager to help them navigate and learn to navigate. Even on your home networks, our laptops have content filters in place that filter the content that they can see in an attempt to keep them away from questionable images and adult or distracting themes. These filters are not perfect. Students may accidentally stumble upon inappropriate content or may intentionally try to get around our filters. At school, we only use these devices in public spaces where teachers can easily see their screens, and we limit screen time to reasonable chunks. At home, those responsibilities fall to the parents or guardians. We strongly encourage you to learn to understand their browsing behavior on school devices and on personal devices that you may give them. Like at school, while you're home, student laptops should only be used seated at a table in a common area of the house, such as a family room or dining room, or at least oriented so that the screen is always visible from an open doorway. We find a student who knows they can be seen is far less likely to be distracted by non-educational content. While at home, parents must take the responsibility to enforce limits on screen time. These devices can do many wondrous things, but we are only providing them to you for educational purposes, and they should only be used in that manner. Entertaining things like YouTube, social media, Netflix, gaming should only be done on personal devices and really should be limited so that most screen time is reserved for learning. Set a time with your students to turn technology off at night. Right now. Pause the video if you need time to discuss this. If students need to work past this time, it can be an exception that they request from you, not the norm. Students should have no expectation of privacy on school-issued technology. MS-80 72 staff, administration, and parents all have the right to view all activity on district systems, including laptop usage and email. We do have tools in place that help us track student activity, but we cannot see through the camera like some people think that we can. These tools are not something we use to physically track your kids or to spy on them. We do log all district emails for 10 years, and we ask that no personal email accounts be accessed on the school devices ever. So no personal Gmail, no services like that. I would also like to take a moment to discuss social media access on services like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, etc., etc. These services are filtered on school devices. But unfortunately, we have seen an uptick in students using these platforms to publicly bully others in our district using personal devices. And while we cannot dictate what students do on personal devices, any cyberbullying reported to us on these platforms will be treated the same as if it were done on site. Parents will be brought in to discuss this serious matter with their student and an administrator if it arises. Images of our staff and students absolutely require permission from that person before being posted on social media, even if it is on personal devices and on services that we do not control. This is a basic courtesy and a pillar of digital citizenship. Since we're talking about screen time, let's also talk about screen safety. Lacking outside guidance, I find students prefer to view laptops, tablets, and smartphones all curled up comfortably in a soft, warm place. For a while, this may feel cozy, but ultimately, this is a bad habit for a number of reasons. Unnatural positioning of the spine, the neck, the wrists, and legs will cause repetitive stress injuries over time. Placing laptops on beds or pillows will cause their air vents to be blocked, causing them to overheat. We also find it will drastically increase the chances of accidental damage by pets or careless movement. "I was just using my laptop on my bed" is a phrase that precedes way too many accidental damage reports to us. So that's a lot to take in at once. Thanks for staying with me. Let's take a moment to stand up, stretch, look away from the screen for a bit, and I'll be right back in 20 seconds. Taking frequent breaks is a very important habit to instill in our kids using screens of any kind. When looking at a screen, remember 20-20-20. Stand up every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break, and focus your eyes on something at least 20 feet away. This simple step can help all sorts of tech fatigue problems. It's simple to remember and applies to parents and students alike. To help you manage healthy computer use in your home, here are a few more suggestions. Some of these suggestions are more appropriate for extended computer use at home, but forming good technology habits is worthwhile in all situations. Elevate your screen. This can be a challenge because some of us need to use the trackpad and keyboard built into the device. But specifically, if you're just watching a video and don't need to interact much, have a sturdy box on your table or build a small shelf to raise the screen up to eye level whenever you can. We never want to see kids with an iPad or laptop on their lap and their neck arched downward all day. My own kids used this very high-tech pickle jar solution during the pandemic to great effect, and I encourage similarly creative solutions provided they are stable. Later, I purchased them a fancier setup like this one, so they can raise and lower it to sit and stand off and on as they choose. It does cost about $100 on Amazon, but it's an investment in their health that they will have for years to come. Notice in both solutions, I've hooked up my old keyboard and mice. This brings me to my next suggestion. Add peripherals. If you do have an old external keyboard, mouse, and monitor, you should use these tools to create an optimal workstation for your kids. Even Windows PC peripherals can work in many cases on a Mac. A few keyboard keys might be mapped a little differently, but it's not hard to figure out. All of our laptops and iPads easily support an external monitor, keyboard, and mouse with the correct cables or wireless tech, though iPads don't really need them as much. Feel free to ask for our assistance consulting about items like this. While we wish we could provide these peripherals to all students, we are at least happy to help you figure out if you can use what you have or make personal tech purchase recommendations to make your life easier and your kids healthier. Screens should be about 2 feet or an arm's length away from your eyes, and the screen should be about 10 to 15 degrees below eye level. Always work on a flat desk and keep your students' feet on the floor with their knees at a 90-degree angle while sitting. Adjust their chair to get them comfortable. Littler ones might need a sturdy box under their feet. Wrists should always be supported during extended keyboarding, mouse, or even trackpad usage. An old wadded-up sock, a soft dish sponge, air-filled packaging pillows, there are all sorts of cheap or free ways to make this happen if you can't source a proper gel wrist rest. Make sure the lighting is good in your room. The screen should not be brighter than your surroundings. For good video conferencing, the cheap home edition of studio lighting would be a simple desk lamp to one side of and in back of the laptop shining on your face, with a ceiling light in front of you or somewhere shining down on your head, and no bright windows in back of you. Blue light from computer screens and LED TVs is increasingly being studied as potentially disruptive to natural body rhythms and sleep behavior. Please minimize nighttime use of screens. Even during the day, if your kids wear glasses, invest in blue blocking coatings on their lens. If they don't wear glasses, maybe consider getting some non-prescription blue block glasses for their computer use, just like I did for my kiddo. We have a few new and unused pairs of these glasses available if you can't afford them. We know not all of you will be able to put all of these changes into your home. In fact, at school, we can't even provide all these best practices to kids either. But if you can, great. And if you can't, please at least reinforce as many of the easy ones as you can. Good posture, wrist support, and the 20-20-20 rule are easy for everybody to do. Now, we were talking about laptops, and well, accidents do happen. And if something goes wrong with your school-issued device, we are here to help. If you're already in school, this is easy. Tell your teacher what's wrong, and they will either help you if it's minor or send you to the tech office if you need our help. Please don't worry about getting in trouble or getting a large bill. The most important thing is to tell us everything that happened so we can understand exactly what might need to be done. We won't get you in trouble because our primary concern is safety. Sharp edges, broken glass, and most importantly, potential battery damage is what we are worried about. To date, we have never billed a parent for accidental damage to district devices. If an accident break does happen, please let us know at technology@ms8072.org as soon as you can, or call the tech office directly at 935-9555. Include as much information as you can, pictures or videos are great if that's an option. This is a video of a lithium battery, like the ones in laptops and iPads, being purposely short-circuited. Please never try anything like this at home. The smoke is very toxic, and the reaction can be explosive. In real life, this can easily happen when a portable computing device is dropped, crushed, sat on, or punctured. Wherever you are, the most important thing is if the device is painfully hot, swelled up, or thick black smoke is coming out of it, prioritize your safety first, and then the safety of the building. If it is too hot to touch, do not touch it. Leave the room and get an adult or call the fire department. If it is too smoky to breathe safely, do not touch it. Leave the room and get an adult or call the fire department. If an adult can put it in a non-flammable surface like a metal sink or oven that isn't on, or a ceramic tile floor, or even into a big cooking pot, great. But do so safely. Best is if you can put it outside onto a big rock or pavement without it burning you or without breathing in toxic smoke. Do so only if it can be done safely. Please never pour water on it. These batteries may contain lithium, which reacts explosively with water, and you will make it worse. I think that's enough to remember for now. Today we discussed who we are and a bit about the technology we have provided to you. I told you some of our rules and policies and gave you some suggestions to stay healthy while using screens. Most importantly, we covered a lot of safety topics, particularly about accidental damage and fire safety. If there's anything else you want to know, we welcome questions at technology@ms8072.org.